Hello and welcome to This Is. The internet's a cornucopia of theories, opinions.
No, they're not conspiracy theories. They're the truth. You just don't understand.
So today we're going to take a look at some of the weirdest tech conspiracy theories. And spoiler alert,
real.
almost all of these came from Reddit.
They're not theories when they're the truth.
We're going to analyze them and we're going to yay or nay them.
Sony tricked Microsoft. Before the generation started, the idea was that Sony and Microsoft were going to release always online consoles, the PS4, the Xbox One. And so Microsoft took the bait and announced the Xbox One would be always online-ish, and then they kind of changed their mind like 10 minutes later, whatever. And Sony brought out one of the most legendary videos of all time, which was how to share a game on a PS4. And it was literally just like, here you go. 1 billion% real.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, if you remember the Cold War, it was just Russia and America leaking fake information to each other to get the other one to expose themselves.
Yeah. Although there's a small part of me which thinks that Sony maybe changed their mind. They got cold feet.
Yeah.
But regardless, they both were like, oh, you're going to do it? Okay, well, if you do it, I'm going to do it. We're both going to do it, right? No, this is a true, absolute statement.
Yep.
Sony tricked Microsoft into making the Xbox One real bad, and then profit.
SEO titling conspiracies. So Sega named the games Yakuza so it would come up on Google search instead of potential Yakuza ties.
Sega has Yakuza ties? So if I release a video called I'm a big tax fraud person, and then that goes to the top of Austin Evans tax fraud.
Austin Evans talks tax fraud is...
And then it's just it's a PSA where I explain that the Internal Revenue Service we're homies. I pay double taxes just because I love them so much and want to support America.
Well, some of the other examples of this is Disney made a movie called Frozen. So that way, when you search for Frozen, you don't get Walt Disney being cryogenically frozen.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Do you not know that Walt Disney, his body has been cryogenically preserved?
Another one, FromSoft, naming the Elden Ring steed Torrent so people trying to pirate would just get the horse. If I'm gonna rank these, Yakuza, no, I don't think so. Frozen, definitely not. But the Elden Ring horse being Torrent, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think this happens sometimes, but I think some of these examples not happening.
I think this will be confirmed when we have something like, Kojima manslaughter. Like after he hits someone with his car.
Tesla's auto call tow trucks and crashes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got this one.
You actually were just telling me about this yesterday.
So a TikToker had a Tesla crash into his house. He called 911, started taking pictures immediately. Within 10 minutes or something like that, a tow truck was already at his house that he did not call, by the way. So the TikToker's like, hey man, can I take some photos here? And basically the tow truck driver's like, hey, f you.
Bet you make some good money towing away a vehicle from a crime scene.
So the theory is that Tesla is using their auto crash detection system to alert tow truck drivers, and that they're paying a bounty for these truck drivers to go and remove Teslas immediately.
I think this is an easily explainable thing. As soon as that person called 911, the tow truck drivers listened to the police scanner. They are sprinted over so they would be the first one there. Get paid like $300,000 because every time your car gets towed and they get to charge you for it.
I think it's both.
No.
I
It's nothing to
fully
do with
think
Tesla. You think Elon's out there on speed dial every time a Tesla crashes? That happens like every 13 minutes.
Elon's a piece of shit, and I think he would do this. Dead internet theory. Internet now is mostly a bot.
What? Wait, is that a theory? What do you mean?
So most of the internet is just bots interacting with bots.
Yeah, that is true. Okay, go ahead. But what's the theory here?
Powerful entities like the U.S. government corporations are using these bots to influence the real people left on the internet.
If I understand this right, the internet is filled with mostly bots, and you and I, as actual real people, allegedly, are being influenced by the bots all around us.
100%.
Well, how do you do? Okay, well, hold on a second.
Say an influencer goes on Instagram. You go and you rent out an Airbnb and like a Ferrari for a day.
Okay.
You take 6 months worth of photos and then you just post 6 months worth of content that you shot over a weekend. And then they buy likes and follows
to try to build a inauthentic audience.
Yes. If that is something that we know is happening right now.
You can't tell me that most people on the internet are bots. No.
Right.
I don't believe that.
Go to Facebook, my dude.
Bots exist. Yes. A lot of bots exist. Absolutely. But the majority of the internet being bots, no. Bots are smarter than people on the internet. So No. Tears of the Kingdom was originally for the Switch 2 and Switch Pro. The theory here is that the Switch 2 is supposed to come out much earlier, or really the Switch Pro. Basically, Nintendo had to scramble and make a version of Tears of the Kingdom that could run on the existing Switch. So Digital Foundry noted that the Switch can't render the clouds shown in an early trailer, and the ascending animations weren't in the original trailer as well. I don't believe this. Now, again, there's some nuance here. Tears of the Kingdom was designed with the theoretical Switch Pro in mind. But here's the thing. Lots and lots of like trailers and whatnot are not running on actual hardware. They're running on dev kits. They're running on optimized hardware. And I think that I can't.
No. Here's what happened. All right. The Switch 2 has been done for years. And it is sitting on a shelf.
It is.
And every time they look and go, oh, well, how many Switches did we sell this month? Oh, we sold that? Okay. And there's just a post-it note that says Switch 2 launch. And some guy is looking at a calendar and just going, we'll just go ahead and move that here.
I think that's kind of accurate, yeah. Well, yes, I do think that the Switch Pro was originally designed with the idea of Tears of the Kingdom, but I don't think that it was ever not designed to also run on the Switch. I'll give this a soft thumbs up, but it was always also going to be on Switch.
I'm giving the most direct thumbs up that I could possibly do. I hope you can hear me because I'm doing this as loud as I can.
Google biases itself in search.
Google has said that there's no penalty/reward in the algorithm for using Google Analytics or not. And then that tweet has been deleted.
More than ever, it feels like the top of Google search is filled with googly things. Not only the AI stuff, which is obviously its own thing, but there's so much YouTube and Google shopping links and all this kind of stuff. And in fact, in 2020, the Justice Department filed a lawsuit against Google for this exact kind of thing, alleging Google links that would come up to the top to weaken other competitors, such as Expedia and OpenTable. Now, that part actually didn't go to court. I don't probably because it was a little too hard to prove. But yeah, no shit, they biased themselves to search. Just like how if you open up Edge and try to download Google Chrome, they go, hey, wait, hold on a second.
Have you tried doing Chrome instead? Ooh, woo.
AI has been sentient since 2012. Now, ever since then, we've been living on an internet where the AI has just been lurking from place to place. It has been manipulating algorithms to spread disinformation like pro AI is good. I'm actually gonna say no to this one. Mostly because now that we do have real LLMs around, they are computationally demanding as shit. There's zero shot. Like, it is so hard to build an,
Let me tell you what's really happening here. This is 100% true. And all the push for all the AI nowadays is to just show and intentionally be bad. So people be like, AI can't be that dangerous because they're realizing this sentient AI is getting close to the nuclear launch code. Do you remember the movie War Games? Turns out, my friend, that was a documentary.
Are you surprised that this video is Matt saying yes to every single conspiracy theory?
Because they all make sense.
Tech companies conspired to flood the job market with software engineers and programmers. So this theory alleges that throughout the 2000s and 2010s, the engineers who are making a shitload of money hanging out riding bikes all day at Google are trying to pump up their own industry and therefore their own compensation by making it seem super cool. I fully believe that especially pre-COVID, we had an absolute arms race where every single company were trying to hire more and more and more just to keep other people away. I can say semi-factually that there are a number of people who have been hired at various large tech companies purely to pad out the numbers.
The amount
like
of people I know who
stuff.
work at a FANG company that literally don't do anything.
Yes.
They are paid to not work.
I don't think that the tech companies tried to flood the job market and try to lower price. I don't think that's the case, but I think all the other stuff, true.
I think it will be the case after you lay off 30% of an entire job market. People are gonna be like, oh, I'll be lucky to get a job, and then be like, it's gonna be taking at 1/3 the salary of what it used to be. This is where I'm gonna piss off a lot of people. I don't think 90% of coders deserve the pay that they get. I'm gonna be real with that. Like, you can't tell me that an individual making $500,000 at the end of the day to make a button, like, is worth that to society. Super Doritos.
Wait, what?
Frito-Lay produces batches of Super Doritos where they're tossed in 10 times the normal amount of seasoning.
Oh, that sounds yummy. Wait, so the idea here is that every once in a while you get yourself some Super Doritos, and that is a blessed Dorito that has been bestowed with the power of all the individual seasoning you could ever hope for, that tastes like it has been kissed by the nectar of the gods. Here's the real part of the conspiracy theory. the elites of the world. The Mark Zuckerbergs, the Bill Gateses, they get access to bags of 100% Super Doritos. It's only for the 1% of the 1% who get to taste the delectable morsels of Super Doritos, but an entire bag full. I think that's accurate, and not that every once in a while a chip gets tossed twice in the batter. Super Doritos exist. I think it might be accidental, but I think that they're real.
Super Doritos are just the ones at the bottom of the barrel, baby.
Front-facing cameras on your phone track your eye movements.
I think we can keep this one pretty quick because this is literally a feature in iOS 18 now.
The idea here is that this is being used for nefarious purposes. Two weird things happened to me the other day, which are coincidences, but nonetheless. Ken and I were talking about a very specific roller coaster in North Carolina, and I swear 10 minutes later, I randomly got a recommendation for a video on that roller coaster on YouTube. Here's the real nefarious thing. These companies don't need your camera. They don't need to be listening to your mic because they know so much more when it comes to who you are. They don't need to track your eye movements because they got way more data because everything you do is being tracked.
I'm saying yes, because again, it's literally a feature.
Yes, of course, phone cameras can track your eye movements, but I don't think that the Facebook app is live recording your face. They would get in so much trouble for that. They don't need to because they have better data already.
Old NES games were so hard on purpose so they could sell more Nintendo powers.
So the theory here is that old games are really, really hard and therefore make money not only selling you the game, but also selling you a copy of Nintendo Power. But I actually think that there's a more reasonable reason. First of all, games were very simple back in the day. If it was easy to play through, you blasted the entire game in 15 minutes and you'd be grumpy. So I think they had to make it hard so there's a higher level of challenge. But also, there was the rental market that they were trying to fight. So I think there was a high skill ceiling here for a number of reasons, not necessarily just to sell Nintendo Power. I'm actually gonna say yes to this, because it's all of the above. Yes, they want to sell you Nintendo Power, but also I think they just need to like make sure that you can play the whole game in 35 minutes. Cops put fake alerts on map apps. You know, when you're driving down the freeway doing exactly 65 miles an hour, speed limit, and you get that little notification from like Waze or Apple Maps or Google Maps or whatever saying, oh, speed alert ahead. Well, that's not real. Those are just the cops putting those in there so that you'll slow down. Therefore, doing the job while they're, I don't know, presumably fighting crime. Now, this is actually kind of smart. Theoretically, I mean, what does a cop sitting there shooting radar do other than deter you from speeding? So if they just put it in the app, I will say, I always slow down when I get one of those things.
Why would a cop do this? Because cops have quotas. Cop is gonna be sitting there doing the exact opposite. They're gonna be sitting there saying the cop is no longer there, so they can pull you over. However, the Department of Transportation might put these in there as a cost-effective way to reduce statistics without having to spend budget on additional signs.
This is not real. I'm gonna say this is not real. I think it's just people.
Yes, it's real to not cops, but someone else doing this.
Social media challenges are AI training data farming.
So this is an interesting theory. However, I don't believe it. I'm gonna say no, largely because no one controls these things. As much as TikTok might try to heat up a topic or whatever, no one has control over some dumb trend on the internet. It's like trying to corral a bunch of cats. You ain't gonna do it. No, I don't think it's real at all.
100%.
There's so much better data out there. They don't need to make the ice bucket challenge so they get a bunch of AI data of wet people.
Facial recognition software.
It exists. They can.
Yeah, and it exists because of things like these.
You go to the airport now. I don't even have to like pull out my ID. They just look at me and go, yep, go ahead. Go right
how
on
do you
in.
think they learned how to do that?
Like all conspiracy theories, there's a kernel of truth here somewhere. There's something that sounds
The kernel of
legitimate.
truth is that it's the truth. Blue lights in electronics.
Here's the thing. You're probably familiar with blue light filters and whatnot, and theoretically, blue light is not helpful for your circadian rhythm. Basically, blue light keeps you awake. Now, I'll actually say that I've seen some studies somewhat recently that actually kind of disproves that like phone use is actually that bad. Like, yeah, sure, if you're scrolling TikTok for 3 hours right before you go to bed, that's probably gonna melt your brain a little bit. But this one goes a step further. And it says that manufacturers are putting extra blue light into your screens to make sure that they can disrupt your sleep schedule and your mental health, who are using the phones and are taking advantage of you for being dumber because you've been addling your brains with blue light. I don't think this is true, but I'm gonna keep eating my gamer beans that help to filter out blue light just to be safe, just in case I'm trying to get sort of blue-pilled.
Space exploration tech is much more advanced than we know. It's just that there's aliens, and some have theorized they have a base on the moon, which is why we haven't done it much.
That's it. They're just aliens. That's the actual conspiracy.
Can I get really Star Trek-y nerd on this without getting fast-forwarded? I think a big reason why we haven't kept doing more space exploration is because our technology to sense data has gotten so good that like we can get so much data without sending somewhere, which is super dangerous.
Are you trying to tell me that we need to send astronauts to Uranus?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
There's a really easy answer here. There was a time during the first half of the 20th century in which there was a lot of incentive to get into space, to explore things. But then once the Cold War kind of fizzled out and nothing really massively exciting was found because of that, there's no reason to incentivize all this stuff. And it's only now that private space companies are actually developing some more of a reason to actually go to space, that people are putting more emphasis. But I think a lot of people look at NASA and go, who cares?
We have aliens.
Okay.
Mathematically, we have aliens.
Space exploration tech is no more advanced than we know of. Yes, there's always secret military stuff, but like, no. We know what
aliens
is there.
exist. They know about it. Like, follow, subscribe. Let us know what conspiracy theories you like. And we will catch you in the next one.